evening. This is the Vsb TV 11 News for Thursday, July 3rd. I'm Peter Cattell. Our top story, Premier Michael Dunkley toured St. George's early today for nearly 4 hours. He chatted with tourists at Tobacco Bay and got an update on how the building of the marina at Ordnance Island is coming along. Accompanying Premier Dunkley on the tour were Minister of Community and Cultural Affairs Wayne Scott, MP Nandi Outerbridge and MP Kenneth Bascom. Vsb's Julia Smatt spoke to Premier Dunkley about his tour through St. George's and the rejuvenation of Tobacco Bay.
We've walked the town, gone into the stores, listened to what shopkeepers are saying, heard some of the challenges that they've got in the community, and now we're sitting out here on the dock and we're just getting an update on the potential for the dock here at the Yacht Reporting Center out on the Ordnance Island here. And I wanted to make sure that in my conversation with the mayor that if there's anything government can do to help move the process forward, we're here to support. We believe to have the opportunity to have a first-class marina in St. George's would certainly add a lot to this historical town. As well as the other initiatives we're working on in St. George's, such as a hotel, and looking at any other things we can do to support the town, perhaps get a cruise ship to come back in here. We understand St. George's is a vital asset for Bermuda, and we'll do all we can to try to reinvigorate it.
How do you feel about sort of the rejuvenation of Tobacco Bay?
Well, first you have to give credit to Mr. Thomas, who has the vision and the energy to make it happen. And I think people in Bermuda can look at that vision and energy and come up with their own plan on how they can move forward. I'm the type of person that we all understand the problems that we might face, but I want to see people come up with solutions on how we move forward, and Belcario Thomas has certainly done that, and I think St. George's has the right attitude.
Mayor of St. George's, Garth Rothwell, said he anticipates the marina will be completed by March of next year, and said the traffic it could bring to St. George's could be extremely beneficial.
We want to hit the spring season because that's when we get the most yachts passing through. It's really dependent on transient yachts. That's it for revenue, and that's the target. But we will have. It's going to be tough. We've got to get through planning, and the idea is that it'll run off here, off this side of the dock, and go out into the harbour. And it'll be done in 2 phases out there. The first phase will take so many yachts, and if that's successful, then they will build the second phase. But the advantage to St. George's also is that we will get a breakwater here, which will give us some protection for the town down that end in the case of a hurricane. And this year, we've had something for 6 weeks, we have between 40 and 60 yachts sitting in the harbour, but they've all been out there. If they were alongside in a marina, I'm sure we would get more of the yachtsmen coming into the town, frequenting the restaurants and so on. And on top of that, the fact that we have it will be a further attraction for people, for other yachts to come to Bermuda.
Former OBA candidate and current entrepreneur Dante Hunt is offering a $1 million solution to the multi-million-dollar requirement to provide Bermuda with land and sea surveillance. It comprises an unmanned reconnaissance aircraft that can fly for 20 hours at a cost of under $1,000 an hour and perform a remarkable range of functions. Having spent 5 years establishing aerial visual solutions and obtaining all of the official permits required, Mr. Hunt is preparing to bring in a state-of-the-art model and provide demonstrations for interested local agencies.
There are various benefits, applications. The drone or unmanned aerial vehicle, which is its true name, can fly for about 20 hours, which surpasses manned capability. It has the ability to detect targets on the ground from altitudes that are undetectable by targets on the ground, if you see what I mean. The application is search and rescue, which is huge for Bermuda. Post-hurricane analysis. The number one, I think, benefit would be drug interdiction. Our borders are very porous. You can dock off anywhere and bring the stuff in. So that's where we feel most of our drugs and guns are coming in. We can help sort that out.
But also the looking at the whole point now of our developing our environment around Bermuda, I suppose the EEZ is the most important one.
I was getting to that. The biggest question I hear with regards to our property, our 200 nautical mile radius around Bermuda, which is the EEZ, the biggest question, the biggest comment is, how are we going to police this? Well, this is the answer. Unmanned aerial vehicles, particularly the one that we've chosen, has the speed, it has the endurance, and it has the capability to fly out to our border and within and patrol. Find those boats, those vessels that are doing illegal fishing. Take pictures of them. Get evidence. Gather this evidence and then go ahead and prosecute in the international arena. We're talking about just under $1 million or so, but at the same token, these things provide a hefty punch. You compare that to, for instance, a OPV, offshore patrol vessel. You're looking at multiple millions, yes. 10, 15 million for one vessel.
Huge operating costs.
Huge operating costs. You need about 10 to 20 personnel on board. So it's quite tough.
The Bermudian intends offering 2 scholarships to Kansas State University for locals interested in obtaining a private pilot's license so that they can work with him. A fish fry dinner tomorrow night will be the start of a life-changing experience for 12 students preparing to travel to Cochabamba, Bolivia, 6,000 feet above sea level. They are volunteers from Bermuda Overseas Missions helping to build houses in support of Habitat for Humanity. David Thompson, president of Bermuda Overseas Missions, says the experience is very important in the development of young people.
When you speak to some of these students and you begin to appreciate just what it really means to them to have the opportunity to go abroad, which some of them never have that opportunity, to have the opportunity to see a country, somewhere they probably didn't even know existed before the trip, and then to go and help a family in need. It speaks volumes.
How do you prepare these youngsters for this type of contribution?
Right. Our belief probably is you get thrown in at the deep end and we help you swim. It's pretty much the short answer. There is a lot of preparation that does go ahead of the trip. We have numerous meetings with all the participants, students and adults who go on the trip. We talk to them through, what they need in terms of preparation, what to expect. This particular year the challenge will be the altitude.
Now, what about funding? There must be a tremendous cost, isn't there, getting these youngsters to Cochabamba?
Absolutely right. I mean, the cost of this particular trip is about $3,500, and that includes airfare, hotel accommodation, meals, everything that you particularly need. And obviously for a lot of students, that's beyond their normal budget. And we recognize that. And what we do is we go out and we help them fund this. We arrange sponsorship. We don't believe in a free ride. They have to pay something towards it, so they raise some money themselves and they get the satisfaction of contributing towards that. But we also have help through the numerous fundraising events. I think it's very important that these kids have an opportunity to get off the island, experience and see what's going on in the world around them. And I think, as part of their education, it's absolutely critical because they come back with a totally different outlook.
The Fish Fry fundraiser is at Christchurch, Warwick, tomorrow night. A 50-year-old father, along with his 17-year-old son, appeared in magistrate's court this morning on charges of assaulting a family member. Christopher Hollis, along with his son Tristan Hollis, denied assaulting Mr. Hollis's eldest son Franklin Hollis on July 1st in Hamilton Parish. Tristan was further charged separately with pointing a machete at his brother Franklin. The defendant denied the charge. Meanwhile, the father Christopher was further charged with using threatening words. It is alleged the defendant told his son Franklin that he was going to kill him, a charge he denies. Senior Magistrate Archibald Warner granted both the men bail in the sum of $2,000 each. They will return for trial in October. Still ahead on the TV 11 News is Rachel with the weather preview.
Thanks, Peter. Mainly fair and humid conditions with a passing shower. On the radar, we can see Showers passing through the marine area, but please stay tuned for the full weather report as we take a closer look at the weekend.
The weather radar picture provided courtesy of the Ministry of Transport on Vsb Tv 11.
You can count on us. Save $2 per pound on extra-large seedless green grapes, only $3.99 per pound. Great on the grill, fresh Purdue chicken thighs, only $1.99 per pound. Wishbone salad dressings, all varieties, only $1.89 for an 8-ounce bottle. Brush on the best Kraft barbecue sauce, 18-ounce bottle, only $1.69. Big savings of $1.71 on Libby's regular mayonnaise, 30-ounce jar, for only $4.09. All stores open until 10 p.m. for your shopping convenience. You can count on us.
Copyfax is Samsung's authorized dealer service center in Bermuda. If you're looking for a tablet, Copyfax have a range of Samsung's Tab 3, 5 and 7. They have Samsung's ATIV Book, which has a 15.6-inch screen. And the ATIV One computer has a 24-inch touch screen. Be sure you're buying from an authorized Samsung dealer. In Bermuda, it's Copyfax Limited, 96 North Shore Road. They service what they sell.
Bermuda is an easy way to find great discounts while discovering fun activities to do in Bermuda.
Discover the best spas, restaurants, activities, services, and shops at 50% off.
Sign up to Bermuda and start saving today.
If you have the impression that St. George's is dead, maybe you didn't get the memo. The Old Town is gearing up for next Friday's celebration of its 402nd birthday with the theme Plow, a summer's evening in the Old Town. Kristen White, volunteer organizer of the event, explains.
We want to continue every year commemorating the fact that for over 4 centuries we've been a thriving town. You know, we've had our ups, we've had our downs, but this year we'll be celebrating 402 years of continuous life.
How involved is the Bermuda Tourism Authority?
The Bermuda Tourism Authority has been supportive of this event. They've sponsored the Regiment Band and the Island Pipe Band to do the finale on the night. So it's, and generally in St. George's, the Bermuda Tourism Authority has been involved in helping us to get focused on a strategy and work collaboratively together. All of the museums and all of the volunteers and businesses are now coming together, I think, a bit more over the last few years, and now the Bermuda Tourism Authority is helping us to focus even a bit more.
Now, this, you said it's directed at visitors and locals, but is there a feature of this that will be more appealing to our visitors?
I think the entire event would be really appealing to visitors. I think actually it's an easier sell to visitors because they, you know, aren't necessarily familiar with the history. And a lot of times here in Bermuda we might think we already know the stories, or we've already been to St. George's and there's nothing new to see. So we're really wanting to encourage residents to come out, even if you've been to St. George's and been to the museums. There's going to be new exhibits in the museums. They'll be doing special reenactments, special demonstrations, talks, performances, and there will also be performances and reenactments in the streets. So I think it would appeal to both, but I think it's a harder sell for residents who sometimes feel like, you know, there's nothing new in the old town, but there is.
The event also has the support of the Corporation of St. George's and the St. George's Business and Heritage Partners. For 11 days in July, 12 Bermudian University students will be split into 3 teams and sent to either Atlanta, Chicago, or London to learn in depth about the insurance business, courtesy of the Bermuda Foundation for Insurance Studies. They met yesterday with BFIS Chairman Michael Fisher and 4 of last year's interns, Chris Wright, Tucker Moore, Campbell Tucker, and Summers Zweeker, to learn what to expect and how to make the most of the opportunity. Mr. Fisher said that almost 100 Bermudian students have already taken part in this short, intensive program since they were started in 2001, and it would not have been possible without the tremendous support of the insurance industry, both here and overseas. Youth Entrepreneurship Director Joe Mahoney will be presenting his 12th annual BizCamp program this month. And this year, he is offering 2 free 7-day BizCamps at Berkeley Institute for a maximum of 48 aspiring young entrepreneurs between 13 and 18 years. There are some places still available for the July 7th and July 18th sessions, and Mr. Mahoney is encouraging interested youngsters to contact him at ecommerce@gov.bm or at the Government Administration Building on Parliament Street.
It's a pleasure for me to be able to teach young people how to conceive of a business plan, but more importantly, how to think of a career. And that's really what we use youth entrepreneurship as a motivator for. So the students come in and we teach them to examine their passions, examine their skills, examine their hobbies, and then come up with an idea for a business that associates with any of those.
And they do.
And they do. And the Bermudian kids are fabulous. They all know what an entrepreneur is. They all know an entrepreneur. There are so many entrepreneurs in Bermuda. So it really fits in that respect. So the learning curve is very quick. Within 3 days, they've all at least created their concept of what they want to do. And then we begin to drill down with cost of goods sold and pricing and all of the difficult math that goes along with it. And it's fabulous to see the kids actually get into that because they don't realize they're doing math. But in doing their annual income statement, they create quite an extensive display of numbers, and numeracy is just blended in with the program.
And you are giving them confidence. I think that's gold dust.
Well, they'll have to stand and deliver their plan, and so they do have to have some confidence. They have to believe in themselves, which is really a big concept that we try to convey, that they have to commit to their plan and stand up and deliver it. And then we take the top 7 from that presentation. So every student presents their own plan, and then the top 7 present to a panel of judges that we invite in from the community.
Now, here's a look at the daily markets, presented by Bias.
Here are the daily markets presented by Bias. Equity markets gained on positive economic data in the U.S. and the announcement of unchanged interest rates in the Eurozone. U.S. stocks gained today after data showed employers added more workers than projected in June. The Dow Jones closed above the 17,000 mark for the first time. The Bermuda Stock Exchange declined 0.83% today, with the index closing at 1,382. Volumes primarily came in Bank of Butterfield and Ascendant Group shares. UK stocks climbed to a 3-week high, led by commodity producers and Vodafone. European stocks also rose after the ECB left its benchmark rate at record lows. The Shanghai Index gained for a 4th day in the longest winning streak since May, as port operators surged and profits of cement manufacturers rose. The index gained 0.19% to close at 2,063. The Brazilian index rose on the back of commodity producers as metals prices climbed. The Vsb gained 1.6% to close at 53,877. U.S. Treasury prices fell, pushing 10-year yields to the highest in 2 months after a report showed continued jobs market strength and strength in the U.S. economy. The 10-year U.S. Treasury currently yields 2.64%, up 1 basis point. The dollar strengthened against major currencies as jobs data came in higher than expected, and speculation the Federal Reserve may raise interest rates earlier than expected. The euro traded 1.36 against the dollar as of the last trade. That was a look at the daily markets presented by Bias. There's more news after the break.
Great on the barbecue. Baby back ribs, only $2.99 per pound. Save $3 each on juicy whole seedless watermelons, only $12.99 each. Save $1.25 on Hunt's Ketchup 35-ounce bottle for only $2.19. Catelli macaroni, $1.89 for a 500-gram box. Save $1.10 on 2-liter bottles of regular or Diet Pepsi-Cola soda, only $3.49. All stores open till 10 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us. Are you frustrated and confused by complex online banking systems? The quickest, easiest way to pay bills is with EasyPay.
They're very good. They're excellent. I'd recommend them all the time. EasyPay is the easy way.
The whole reason I joined EasyPay is because of what the name stands for. It's very easy to pay.
I've been using EasyPay for over 10 years. It really is an easy product to use.
Bill payment doesn't get any easier than EasyPay. Email Dal at easypay.bm or visit easypay.bm.
The Fairmont Hamilton Princess today announced the appointment of hospitality veteran Alan Federer as general manager of the iconic hotel, effective immediately. In his new role, Mr. Federer will oversee the operations of the property, including its 410 rooms, 3 restaurants, and meeting space. Mr. Federer comes to Bermuda from the Ritz-Carlton, Moscow, where he has been general manager of the 334-room hotel since 2012. The hotel is Russia's leading hotel operation. Prior to his tenure in Moscow, Mr. Federer was the general manager of the Ritz-Carlton, Dubai. He has also been the general manager of several Ritz-Carlton properties in Tucson, Arizona, County Wicklow, Ireland, Singapore, Istanbul, and Montreal. He began his hospitality career in 1976 at the Royal York Hotel in Toronto, Canada. The sports report is next, after the break. Now, here's a look at sports with Earl Baisden.
The Bermuda Cricket Board and Logic today announced O.J. Pitcher as the Logic Premier Division Player of the Week. Making today's announcement for Logic was Latricia Perry.
On behalf of Logic, I would like to thank Mr. O.J. Pitcher for winning the Logic Premier Division Player of the Week.
Thank you. Perry then announced the Logic First Division Player of the Week, Donnie Charles.
On behalf of Logic, I would like to congratulate Mr. Donnie Charles for winning the Logic First Division Player of the Week award. Accepting on his behalf is Mr. Paul Ross from Somerset Bridge.
Pitcher was asked what the method of success was for St. David's thus far this season.
I would say team harmony. Right now we guys are gelling. It's a great feeling. It's hard to explain. We're pushing one another. You know, guys are pulling the weight when needed. So it's been an outright team effort throughout the whole year.
Now you've played in a few games that have been a few scares here and there, but what's some of the energy that Randall's bringing that keeps the calm over the players to reassure them that the task at hand can be accomplished?
Well, to be honest, Randall is probably more nervous than most of us when it comes to game day, but he brings that experience, you know what I mean? He's been there, he's done it. And like I said, it's just instilled a confidence in me guys that, man, we've already been confident throughout our careers.
It was a blustery morning of wind and rain yesterday that set the tone for the second round matches during the 2014 HSBC Junior National Championship going on at the Belmont Hills Golf Club. A steady, level-headed defending champion Walker Campbell defeated the long and accurate Eric Douglas 3-2. Soon-to-be Troy University freshman Corey De Silva defeated steady, solid ball striker Kerry Swan 6-4. Micah Ming needed an extra hole to defeat number 2 seed Sam Waymeyer. The pair were all square through 18 holes. Both golfers played very well the entire day and put up all they had. On the playoff hole, Waymeyer left the door open with an out-of-bounds tee shot and allowed Ming to close the door, winning that one up through 19 holes. Young Alex Mason defeated Dakota Lamb 6-5, while Kenny LeJour got by Joe Watson 5-4. Tyler Embry defeated Luke Watson in a battle on the last hole, winning one up. The 2014 Wednesday Night Sailing Series continued with 29 boats going to the start line for Race Day 10. Elusive was the first boat to cross the line in a time of 33:09. The corrected time of 31:05 saw them finish first on the night. The next boat to cross the line was Mayhem, clocking a time of 33:50. The corrected time of 31:43 saw them finish second on the night. Smoking was the next to cross the line in a time of 34:29, and their corrected time of 31:53 saw them finish third on the night. I'm Earl Baisden reporting for VSB Sports.
People and Places with Charles Webb. Mondays in the Vsb TV 11 Evening News at 7:30, 8:30 and midnight. Sponsored by Big Saving Zone at the end of Stocks Road, St. David's.
Outlast any storm with the most advanced alkaline battery. This weather segment is brought to you by Duracell Quantum.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's VSB weather forecast. Our weather shot is brought to us by Russell Eddy, taken this afternoon at Horseshoe Bay. We don't really have a sky in here, but we don't need it. Judging by the amount of people on the beach, it was a gorgeous day, another hot and humid day. And judging by the sea, light wind, so not much surf. Perfect day for the beach. And thank you, Russell, for sending this shot in. Jealous you got to the beach today. Temperatures for today, we had a high of 82 at 3 in the afternoon and a low of 75 at 7 in the morning. Currently, it is 78 degrees, humidity 75%, winds blowing out of the south at 10 knots, and barometric pressure is steady at 30.22 inches. Rainfall index for the month of July, 0.1 inch for a yearly total of 26.74. Yearly normals finally overtaken at 27.06 inches. And taking a look at the satellite. Southerly flow continues to bring tropical moisture, mainly fair and humid conditions with a possible shower or two through Friday. A weak frontal boundary crosses the area this weekend with a few showers and a chance of thunder Saturday evening into Sunday morning. We continue to monitor Hurricane Arthur as it moves across the U.S. East Coast and is expected to not be a threat to Bermuda at this time. Looking at the gateway cities, Atlanta, mostly sunny, 87. Boston, thunderstorms, 77. Charlotte, mostly sunny, 87. London, sunny, 79. Miami, partly cloudy, 91. New York, 80, rain likely. Orlando, 94, possible thunderstorms. Philadelphia, 83, rain likely. Toronto, 72 and sunny. And Washington, partly cloudy and 83 degrees. Back at home tonight, mostly cloudy with a passing shower or two, low near 76, wind southerly 10 to 15 knots. And tomorrow, mix of sun and cloud with 1 or 2 showers, high near 83, wind southerly 8 to 12 knots, and then veering to southwest at night. Marine tonight, seas inside the reef 0 to 1 foot, seas outside the reef 2 to 4 feet, and the sea surface temperature is 81 degrees. Marine tomorrow, seas inside the reef 0 to 1 foot, seas outside the reef 2 to 4 feet, low tide will be at 8 in the morning and high tide will be at 2:19 in the afternoon. And looking at the 5-day forecast. Saturday, sunny breaks, a few showers, chance of evening thunder, breezy with a high near 83. Sunday, mix of sun and cloud, a morning shower or two, early thunder, high near 81. Monday, partly to mostly cloudy with a passing shower or two, high near 82. And Tuesday, mix of sun and cloud with a shower or two and a high near 85. Thank you to Fred Briley, our meteorologist for tonight, and everyone at the Bermuda Weather Service. I'm Rachel Sodden. Have a great evening.
Outlast any storm with the most advanced alkaline battery. Today's weather forecast was brought to you by Duracell Quantum.
Thanks for tuning in to the TV 11 News. Good night.
Peter Cattell's attire, courtesy of A.S. Cooper & Sons Limited. Wardrobe and makeup for Rachel Sordin, provided by Gibbons Company.
VSB TV 11, Bermuda.